Okay, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not my work. It's wrong. I know what this is. Dude, calm down. Calm down, man. I don't care. It's not my work. It's gone. Everything I did is gone. I don't like it. I don't like what it's. Dude, calm down. I know we're doing that. I don't care. But my fucking work is in baggies. It's what I did. It's not what I wanted. I know. Calm down. We're gonna deal with this. I don't care. It's not right. Come on. It's all good, man. I let you help me fix the lawnmower. I give a fuck about your lawnmower. It's fucking stupid. This isn't what I was doing. This is my work, and I don't want to deal with this. This is bullshit. Oh, calm down. Calm the fuck down. Okay. But do. Shh. We're gonna put this shit back. We're gonna redo it. Don't worry about that. Okay. You promise. We're gonna deal with this. We're gonna make it ours. Yes. We're gonna make it ours again. Okay, calm down. Can I explain what's going on? Yeah. Yes, you can. Okay, I want you to take a breather. Be all good. Okay. Now just go sit down and let me deal with this. Okay. Okay. You can do it. Okay. Thank you. Anyways. Had a little problem with the amp. I have a video, which is why you haven't seen the video in a few weeks. We went to boot up the amp and massive fucking problem. And I took a week tearing this amp apart. And it got to the point after rebuilding, I had to bring it to somebody because it did not make any sense. So I managed to meet this guy locally who actually repairs amps for some very big names. So he knows what he's doing. Now we gave this amp to him, and unfortunately, I mean, if somebody brings something to you and said, I did everything, are you really gonna believe it, right? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. If you trust him, he never met me. So he went to the same path that I did, which was rip the shit out of it and put stuff back together. And he told me it actually started pissing him off. It took him 3 days to figure this out. And this guy's a pro. I'm just a hobbyist dipshit. This guy's a pro. It took him 3 days to figure it out. And both of us were kind of looking back, and the whole thing is heater hum, but it's fucking insane. The heater hum was ridiculous. And I mean massive hum, volume off. Let's go back to the amp here. And we get something, poke it. I'm gonna unplug this so we have nothing going on. And let me get something. I really need to get a non-conductive thing, but we should be fine. This thing has been draining for a while. So yeah, so I didn't die. So we're cool. Anyways, what it was, you can see from any video, most of this is what I did. He's removed this. The post-phase inverter is gone, which he had to bring it. And I don't, I feel with the kid, man. You look down your amp and say, this isn't my amp anymore. And I feel the frustration. But like I said, we're gonna put some shit back and we're gonna make it a goddamn amp again. But he had to bring this thing down to basics. To say, this is perfect. There's no goddamn reason. And he couldn't find the problem. He did do a couple things. If you look down here, you can see he did put a lug to ground. The way I had the ground wasn't quite exact. So he did that. He brought down a little bit of hum here and there, but more or less like a little bit of frosting, but there was no cake, man. The cake was fucking fucked. He was polishing a turd at this point. He put that here. He also put one here, which I talked to another guy that actually told me to talk to this guy because he didn't have any time. So they told me, you want to make sure that your ground for your input, which mine was close, it was here, whatever, as close to this goddamn corner as you can, and this one as close to this and the actual ground as you can. What they call ground loop problems. You got to keep your grounds separate. This is why, you don't mix your grounds with other areas. I did that on accident one time when I did the whole bus wire on all the pots. It was bad, I had a ground loop. And I just like, click, problem solved. Anyway, so that was one thing. He Well, hold on. Let me just give some shit that I did before I even gave it to him, which was I changed this. We had a 10K. I changed it to a 1K because I wasn't getting the power I wanted, and the voltage drop was way too much. I had dropped down like 90 volts. I didn't want to drop 90 volts. And when I biased it, I couldn't get over 35 milliamps, which for this case would have probably been okay. We're probably closer to 38 is what we want. I haven't really done all the measurements for this setup. I'll probably wait till all this is done and redo it then. But I put that in there, fired it up, noisy as shit. But I just wanted to see what it does. The voltages were way higher up into the 400s as opposed into the 300s. And I was sitting there testing stuff, and someone was like, what the heck? I was like, oh shit, I could smell the tubes. Seen that before. And I was like, oh crap. So I put my probe in there. I was like, I had 93 milliamps. Like, oh wow, yeah, you could smell the power tubes. So I went over there and I was like, okay, cool. Now I have all what I want, just because the screen was so goddamn off that there was a problem. So that's just one thing I did. Now, he also came in here and he kind of rearranged how I have it. A lot, because sometimes, like I said, layout, and I am not great at layout. So he changed the layout a little bit of my power. I actually, before giving it to him, I had the caps grounded here as well as the screen. So I said, fuck it. So I went over there and grounded to here, everything to there. Honestly, I have no idea. Okay, yeah, I think he has it here. So we went boom, boom. So he did change it here. He changed it a bit, but I had changed it already. Didn't have any effect. Now let's get down the meat and the potatoes of the problem. Now, like I said, hum, massive hum, affected by the EQ as well, which in a high gain amp like that, you still get that when you're cranking up. You can't get these things cranked up without getting some noise, but this was literally like unusable. I end a beer. It's total bullshit. God, it's allergy season. I'm dying here. Plus, I went and fixed the lawnmower today, so I'm dying. Ugh. So what it was is, okay, this is our cathode follower setup where you have the plate into the cathode, out the cathode to the signal. Now, what I had is that I literally disconnected these. Disconnected, pulled them out. No goddamn signal. I actually removed or disconnected the entire first stage. I don't know where I put it. I literally ripped out this entire goddamn socket. Because what it was is that as soon as, right here, this is the plate of the second stage hitting the plate resistor for the DC voltage for the plate. As soon as I connected that, even with no input, I grounded the grid of the tube. No signal whatsoever, pure ground. The second that touched this coupling cap that went into the next stage, I don't know what the fuck. So I actually disconnected that. I took the guitar signal and connected it directly into the grid of this third stage. Wasn't very loud, but gone, just gone. So we're like, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, we never seen it. I never seen this. He'd never seen it. He's been doing this for a while. Like I said, he fixes vintage amps and builds amps for, very famous people. Or at least, I don't know who, he didn't say all that much, but I know he definitely got touring people that work with Bob Seger, stuff like that. Big names, but old vintage amps, and he's fixing those things, so he knows what the shit he's doing. So I was like, what the hell? And that's why I finally called someone. I said, I can't figure this out. It doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. So he called me, told me a history of stuff, a little bit OCD. I'm not going to say he berated me, but he definitely had a little bit of don't do this tone, which was fine. I don't mind learning. If you're going to tell me, hey, this is wrong, as long as I'm not being an asshole about it, I don't give a shit. That's some of the layouts, some of my groundings. I think we had some bad grounds or some bad solders. Remember when I was soldering, it was cold as shit out here, which is why I stopped the next week. It was too goddamn cold. So you don't want to solder in the cold because it sucks. So I probably had a few of those bad. You changed my layout a little bit. Completely removed the post-phase inverter masters. This is now hooked like a standard master like I usually do it, which goes tone stack master. So that's how it's set up. We're going to put that shit back, but what we're going to do is little by little. So anyways, what the problem was, which still doesn't make any goddamn sense, is, let me see this. Remember right here where all the center taps go? Right in here. You got the center tap for the high voltage secondaries, and you have the center tap for the heaters. Now, like I said, I have some highly customized transformers. Sorry, I'm sniffing. God, it's killing me. And even the people that made them, which is a very large, giant company, said, we've never made something this custom before. I was like, cool. Well, it turns out, because I have dual taps in my heaters, we're not sure why it's doing it. Because remember when I said you either have a center tap, or if you don't have a center tap on your heaters, at the end you use 100 ohm resistors, two 100 ohm resistors off of both heaters, and you go them to ground. That creates an artificial center tap. People argue no, it's not. It's what it is. It's not its complete function, but that is a function. So you can't use both. That is bad. So what he did was he disconnected. This guy, I don't know why they use orange on the same thing. Fucking stupid. This is the screen that's in between the primaries and secondaries and the transformers. We don't even have it grounded. Excuse me. I'm going to put it somewhere. And this is, so he lifted this. He also did, or I should say disconnected this. I don't want to use the word lift because we're going to get in there in a second. So what he did is he, over here, he uses these really cool wires. He's actually pretty, I mean, I got to look, his work is pretty fucking good. It's really nice to look at this and go, huh, that sounds good. I like his work. He's got some shielded wire and shit, which I'll get on later. He's got the 100 ohm resistors going to two heaters. But something I talked about, but I've never done before because I don't know how to do it. He did it in here for good measure. Is he what they call elevating the AC with DC. So what you do is you run DC through your 100 ohm resistors into your filaments, into your heaters. And I haven't had anyone explain the science behind it yet, but for layman's terms, they say it lifts the AC up higher above from ground. And what that does is it causes less bleed over, because you can have bleed over from your heaters into your signal, and you'll get that 60 cycle hum or 120 depending on whatever. I'm not going to get into that. And that electrical hum sound like a goddamn refrigerator. So there it is. And that's what he did. So he's got this elevated, this whole system, which is cool. It sounds good. Now I built one other amp, which is that big boy back there. I didn't really have this problem, but I do have the third channel. Like I said, actually I don't think I talked about this amp too much. This is a proof of concept amp. When I built all my cool PIC controllers and relay boards and wanted to do a 3 amp and to see if it works, and I knew my layout was going to be weird. 1 and 2 channels sound pretty nice. A little bit of buzz. Layout is insane. Would love to redo that one again. Channel 3. Channel 3's got issues, mainly because I got signal crossing wires. But I think, because remember when I said I plugged it directly in here, it didn't do anything. But this is a high gain circuit. The channel 1 and 2 are not high gain circuits. Channel 3 is this on steroids. It actually has a 4th stage. So it is goddamn seriously high gain. So it could be that's what the problem is on channel 3. When I have 1 and 2, it's fine. It's all good. As soon as I hit 3, it's got issues. But I'm gonna try that over there. So I don't know how it goes. You know what I mean? Tangents. So bottom line is, he did that, problem gone. Now you crank this baby up, it's still got a bit of noise, but it's super freaking loud. Amps like this are gonna have that. They're gonna have noise. You can't have high gain amps and be clean. It's not gonna happen. You have low gain amps. You get still a fuck ton of volume, but you're not getting the real crunch that you're gonna get from an amp like this. So, cost of doing business. So the thing is, that's what he did. He removed the center tap, did the artificial center tap but because it's lifted from DC, it's not going directly to ground. Apparently that's how it does. Like I said, I've never done this before, but it's nice to learn. And problem solved. It still has some noise when you're cranking it, but like I said, that's the cost of doing business. It is freaking loud. Now, that's what we have here. Now, remember I said now, drink. That's the game. Caused me a problem. And he wasn't sure how to fix it. I went online. I actually went to a goddamn forum. First, I talked to ChatGPT. Now, I used the free one, so I only got 3 questions, so I kind of needed that 4th question. But I went to a forum, which you know how much I fucking hate forums. The first guy, what a tard. I mean, seriously, someone should just go and tell him to never answer a question either, because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Second guy, he came on, and we went back and forth a little bit, and he gave me the setup, and once he gave me the schematic for how to power these, because remember, with their first, it was floating on DC. I have like 50, I think it has somewhere between 20 something and 30 volts DC. Now, my relay board is converting AC to DC, and it's a 5-volt regulator, and quite frankly, that is way too much DC to run through it. Now, what he showed me is we're going to float, and we're going to get all of this. I'm not going to get any building anything today because I have some parts that I needed to order to deal with this new situation. But the cool thing is you use like a full wave rectifier. But what you do is you're using the ground of the board to the ground of the relays, and nothing touches chassis ground, actual ground, earth ground, nothing. Flashlight, positive to negative of the battery. Same concept of this. So I need my jack. This jack naturally connects to ground, to the chassis. So I need, and I have it on order, an isolated one. Then it does not touch, has no connection to the chassis. And so once I have that, I can do it. So it'll work the same. And the good thing about my board is they are set up for what I need to do. And so all I need to do, which I may just make a whole new goddamn board. I don't know, we'll pull it out. We'll see what's going on, how I want to do it. But it's set up that way. Full wave, rectifier, set up, boom. It's going to be great. And there we go with that. That's all going to be explained as I build it. I'm trying to think. Now, problem is, this kid's pissed the fuck off of us. And I feel this pain. I'm also have holes that are being used that are fuck me. So I may have to do something I hate, which is drill and put an eyelet that I can't secure, which is fine when you're building a pan that stays like this, but when you go upside down, it's a little bit worrisome. So I'll put all this shit back in. Oh, also, I ordered some new relays that use way less current. So I always worry about current transfer into it. So I bought them, so I'm also going to do that. So I have this jack, I have new relays. We're gonna come in, and then we're gonna put this shit back, but we're gonna do it very, very slowly. Do something, turn on. Do something, turn on. And we have to do this. We're also, what he said, is when using post-inverter masters, you kind of want to crank it down a bit because you don't want it wide open. I get what he's saying, but since this is set up like a normal master, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it as is. I'm going to bring that back into here and go back, but use this as the master. Like I said, find that sweet spot. You don't want it wide open because it gets a little noisy. So what I'm going to do is set that up, and I'll use the master and the post phase inverter master and find that sweet spot, measure that, and then I'm going to put in a fixed voltage divider. You know, 2 resistors. Comes here, come to ground. Depending on high, low, how much you kill. Which is the way this works. If you look at this, this is your plate resistor. Now this is the voltage, the DC voltage, coming from your cap. So what happens is it goes here, this is a 330, then he has a 1K here as a voltage divider. So like I said, that's 2, 180, 200, I gotta check, I don't know anymore, it's changed. And so he put a voltage divider so it's not the full current. You also put in a cap there to help push that DC straight, you know, clean it up, clean it up. And that's what we're doing here. So that's what we got. And so hopefully I'll have those this week, and next weekend I'll put out another video and we're gonna get this shit done. Sorry for not putting out a video. Like I said, I beat this thing up for a week. That guy took 3 days to figure it out. Crazy shit, but you know, you learn. And I have no problem saying that there was a problem. Like I said, there's not my fucking circuit though. My circuits was fucking good. It was great. There's nothing wrong with it. Couple little grounding issues and whatnot, but it was a problem that no one knew existed. Well, I'm sure somebody knows existed, but because people don't use transformers like me, it's rare to see. So, see you next week. We may make this amp our own again.